An emotional chapter for Boruto and Kawaki has taken place as 58 has finally dropped on Viz Media this month. After meeting the one who knows all in this world, Ida, Code devised a joint plan with her in order to ambush both Kawaki and Boruto. For Ida, however, due to her powers, the ability to have true love has been stolen from her due to everyone that comes into contact with her having an extreme infatuation. However, this doesn't seem to be the case for those who are Otsutsuki. Even Code found himself infatuated with Ida as she explained the depth of her powers and how she came to be like this because of Jigen. With her knowledge of Kawaki, however, Ida sees that she has a chance at a true relationship since he's only been Otsutsukified to a certain extent, and the same with Boruto. However, since she only needs one, Code is free to use the other for the cultivation of the divine tree as he sees fit. Meanwhile, Team 7 is forced to continue their training after learning of Code's existence from Amato and the potential targets they have on their back now being a part of Ishiki's death. Boruto is left feeling helpless right now, especially after the display he put on prior to returning to the Leaf Village, where Momoshiki once again took over his body, but this time, his friends and family were hurt in the process, with Sasuke losing the Rinnegan and Kurama losing his life. Boruto shouldered most of this, blaming himself, but Kawaki assures him that he understands how he feels more than anyone else, having the experiences he had with Jigen and Karma, agreeing to do whatever it takes to help Boruto out. Later that night, we saw Naruto visit Amato looking pretty troubled and seeming to want someone to confide in for help when it came to Boruto's condition, I guess. Amato leveled with Naruto for a bit, telling him about the daughter that he had as well. However, seems that she died long ago, so he knows how he feels about wanting to do anything to save his child. Due to the nature of Otsutsufication and having little to no info about the process of changing, Amato can only offer Naruto limited help when it comes to saving Boruto as he slides a bottle of pills across the table to him. He tells Naruto that these pills were originally manufactured for something entirely different, however they may be able to slow down the transformation for Boruto. Amato does warn him, however, since they don't really know anything about the process taking place in Boruto, the side effects he may experience are unknown and in the worst case scenario, he may die. He leaves the decision in Naruto's hands and ultimately Boruto will have to make the final decision on whether to take them or not. With so many things changing so fast in Boruto, the training Team 7 would have to endure to be able to take on Code must be drastic, but exactly how much time do they really have? If you guys want to check out the latest chapter of Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, or any past chapters for yourselves, as always I recommend sites like Viz Media and the Shonen Jump app to always help out and support the official releases, so be sure to go check them out. Don't forget to have those notifications turned on to never miss an upload as soon as they go live. And if you have been enjoying all of the anime content we've been covering recently, consider leaving a like on this video as well, it really helps out a ton, guys. Be sure to follow on both Twitch and Twitter to stay up with me and all anime related content and updates, but without further ado. Meds that suppress Otsutsufication, Boruto asks as Naruto presents the bottle of pills to him. Yeah, he answered. They were supposedly developed for another purpose originally, he explains, but if all goes well, we might be able to expect such an effect. For real, Boruto says? I won't become Momoshiki if I take these? They'll only suppress its advance, Naruto explains again. They won't get rid of karma, nor will they reverse what Otsutsufication has already taken place. This is when Boruto opens up the bottle and dumps all of the pills on the table to get a better look, noticing that they have no scent to them at all either. Plus there's this, Naruto continues. The most problematic thing about them is that we have no idea what kind of side effects they may cause. Worst case scenario, you could even die, so I'm not gonna force you to take them at all, Naruto tells him. They'll just be one of your options. You get to decide for yourself, so think it over carefully. Boruto, however, plops one of the pills in his mouth and eats it immediately without a second thought, showing the decision he's chosen isn't one he would question later. Naruto freaks out as he literally just told him he could die, but Boruto downs the pill like there are no risks at all. Do you feel sick or weird at all? He asks, to which Boruto says right now he's just fine. At the end of the day, he's already come to terms with the worst case scenario for the situation after looking at all the information they have realistically. That's why I was able to decide really fast, he says. I'm sorry if I freaked you out. Boruto takes the rest of the pills with him with a smile on his face, thanking his dad for always having his back. At the training fields, Boruto tells the rest of the team about the meds he was given to help with the transformation as he explains to them that hopefully it suppresses it if anything. "You've gotta be kidding me," Kawaki says unconvinced. "What about the plan to implant your karma into Code's body? If you end up dying before we get to fight him because of these, then it's all a wash." "I thought this was just a hypothetical from you," Boruto replies as they both begin raising their voices. "There's no guarantee that it even worked. Look, I don't know how strong this Code guy is, but we have a chance to win against him the normal way, right?" This all just explodes into a huge argument between the shinobi though, as Team 7's tension continues to rise. "I thought I was clear that we're no match for Code," Kawaki says angrily, but Boruto insists that that's why they're training now. Sarada attempts to calm the two of them down, but Kawaki sharply shuts her down as he tries to get his point across about just how strong Code really is. "Look, basics are good," he says, "but how many years are you planning to drill to take Code down? 5? Or maybe 10? What a joke." Boruto barks at him about belittling shinobi training, but Kawaki insists that he's just saying their way seems inefficient to him is all. "It might be tradition," he says, "but you need all the time in the world." Mitsuki asks what Kawaki suggests instead, to which he replies something much simpler and something he thinks they'd all enjoy too. He gets to his feet and within an instant attacks Mitsuki using his hardening powers, but Mitsuki is able to react in time as Boruto and Sarada are freaking out, wondering just what the heck all that was for. "Nice block, Mitsuki," Kawaki says. "You got some promise, just as I thought." "I see," Mitsuki replies. "Training through actual combat. Personally, I could go either way." Seeing this sudden attack from Kawaki, Konohamaru, who was watching them nearby with Naruto, prepares to step in, but Naruto stops him and tells them to just watch and continue to see what happens. Kawaki continues to attack Mitsuki, testing his skills and urging them to develop their abilities through combat, but Sarada and Boruto aren't too sure, feeling this is a bit extreme even for them. "Stop whining and attack me," Kawaki says to Sarada. "Enemies don't just sit around and wait, you know." He goes for Sarada next, but she's able to dodge in time by leaping into the air, telling Kawaki he'll regret this as she fires a fireball jutsu at him. Kawaki is able to shield himself from the flames with his ability and then goes back on the attack as he darts out of the smoke. Once she spots him, Sarada throws a handful of shuriken at him that somehow make a direct hit, as the three of them wonder how Kawaki was hit by such an attack. As Kawaki rolls around the wasteland being hit by that attack, his body vanishes as the others just now realize that this was a shadow clone jutsu. By the time they realize, it seems to be too late as Kawaki has caused Sarada to drop her guard, appearing behind her looking to take her head off now. Just in the nick of time, however, Boruto is able to save her as he demands to know what the heck he's thinking right now, being so extreme all of a sudden. Kawaki insists that he was just sparring and that no one was gonna die, so just relax. "It's no use talking to him, Boruto," Sarada says. "You gotta show him by force." With no other options left, he tells her that if that's the case then alright, but don't butt in because this is his fight now. Sarada has absolutely no idea what's gotten into these two all of a sudden, but Mitsuki explains that it seems these two want to settle this disagreement with their fists. Whoever loses has to stick to the other's way. "Isn't that it, Boruto?" Mitsuki says. Boruto confirms that this is it, and if he loses then they'll train Kawaki's way, but if he wins then Kawaki has to do it their way. "That cool with you, Kawaki?" he asks. The two agree to the terms and then step up for battle as Boruto tells him no complaining if he loses, to which Kawaki agrees and expects the same from him. The two step up to one another with Sarada, Mitsuki, Naruto, and Konohamaru watching, as Boruto says that they used to fight like this every time they saw each other when they first met. "I recall that you were generally the cause," Kawaki says as the tension grows thicker by the second. All of a sudden, Boruto and Kawaki rock one another with thunderous punches that send each other backwards, but Kawaki goes back on the attack immediately with his abilities. Boruto uses his shadow clone jutsu to throw Kawaki off and then charges at him with all of his doppelgangers. He's able to maneuver with his clones to the point where Boruto eventually does close the distance and begins to charge a Rasengan as well. Kawaki destroys the clone that was about to attack as Boruto's jutsu is wiped out, but as he charges at Kawaki, Kawaki releases a move that almost resembles a ki blast as Boruto nearly runs directly into it when it's fired. Instead, Boruto activates his karma as the symbols begin to appear all over his body and he absorbs Kawaki's attack into the palm of his hand until nothing is left. Then it's Boruto's turn as he flips the tables and releases a lightning style jutsu, launching it straight at Kawaki. Out of instinct, Kawaki also tries to absorb this attack with his karma, forgetting that his seal has already been removed and he's hit by Boruto's jutsu. Kawaki tumbles backwards into the forest as Boruto lands back on the ground. "I win," he says. This time at least. Any complaints? Kawaki looks at the ground silently, disappointed in himself at not only seeming to still rely on karma in battle, but falling to Boruto when he wishes to be the one to protect all of them. As Kawaki berates himself on the ground about not being strong enough in his mind, Boruto approaches him, understanding exactly what he's going through as Kawaki loathes not being strong enough to protect the Hokage and his friends. "Hey," Boruto says, standing over Kawaki now, "don't carry all of this on yourself alone. Lean on us more. We're your friends. You might be feeling responsible for Kata targeting Konoha and Dad, but that really isn't your fault. Either way," he continues, "we can't leave bad guys free to do whatever they want, right? That's what shinobis do. You're like that too, aren't you?" Kawaki slowly gets back to his feet after hearing Boruto's words, with even Konohamaru saying that he's starting to sound a lot like Naruto at that age. "Whatever," Kawaki says, brushing off the loss and laying on the ground. "You know," he says, "big lines like that would sound so much better coming from someone a bit more reliable." Sarada and Mitsuki can only shake their heads at this sour attitude from Kawaki, but at the end of the day, he means well and he cares for them too. "I'll stick with you guys a little bit longer," he says to them, "and your way of doing things, I guess." "Fool," Boruto says, smiling, "we're the ones putting up with you." As Naruto watches on proudly, it seems that the torch may finally be ready to be passed, as he encourages them to train with all of their might for what's ahead of them, but together, as long as they trust in each other and in their training, there may be nothing standing in these kids' way from surpassing both Naruto and Sasuke. "Alright," Boruto barks out at Team 7, "time to resume our training." "I swear I'll get stronger," Kawaki vows to himself, as an encounter with Ide and Code is on the horizon. But for him, protecting his loved ones no matter what the cost is all that matters.